Heroes get remembered, but legends never die.
Because their stories still live. These muses are here. It's important to learn from them. Because you realize they're people just like us. They make mistakes just like us.
A big percentage of the world considers Kobe Bryant as the greatest basketball player to ever step foot on a basketball court. Kobe was born on August 23rd, 1978. He grew up in most of his childhood in Italy, where he learned Italian, but he was very focused on basketball as well and continued to pursue his dream of playing in the NBA. The Philadelphia native played high school basketball at Lower Merion High School, and there was a tough decision to make after that, because back then players could skip college and go straight to the NBA, or they could go to college. And Kobe decided to skip college and head straight to the NBA. Kobe was picked with the 13th overall pick in the 1996 NBA draft by the Charlotte Hornets, but was immediately traded on draft day for Vlade Divac and would go to the Los Angeles Lakers. In Kobe's first year in the league, he struggled, only averaging 7 points a game. But that year, he did make it to the NBA dunk contest in 1997, where he put on a show. But 1998 was when Kobe really turned it on. He became the youngest All-Star of all time at just 19 years of age, and Kobe put on a show there too. In 99, he became an All-Star again, and this led to 3 straight championships with him and Shaquille O'Neal from 2000 to 2002. But sadly, after that, the three-peat ended, and in 2003, they lost in the Western Conference Finals as Kobe was hungry to get back to the championship. Kobe and the Lakers got back to the championship in 2004, but would lose to the no-name Detroit Pistons. This pushed Kobe even harder to be a champion again, and Shaquille O'Neal was traded that offseason, which brought in Kobe's new teammate Lamar Odom. It took years to get another championship. In 2006, Kobe Bryant led the NBA in scoring and averaged 35 points per game, something most players could only dream of doing. But on January 22nd, 2006, Kobe Bryant scored 81 points versus the Toronto Raptors. Kobe and the Lakers were down 14 at halftime, but Kobe was upset and continued to put on a show, scoring 81 points. And it's arguable that Kobe's game is better than Wilt's game of 100 because of Kobe's efficiency. Then, in the 2007-8 season, Kobe Bryant won the NBA MVP for the first and only time ever in his NBA career, a well-deserving nomination that really just showed how great of a player Kobe was. And some would argue he should have won it in 2006, but that did not happen. But anyway, they cruised through the 2008 playoffs, and for the first time since 2004, Kobe Bryant and the Lakers were back in the NBA Finals. But they would lose to the eventual champion Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. But this made a fire in the Black Mamba. The Black Mamba knew that this would be one of his last chances to get a championship. In the 2008-9 season, he did not win MVP, but what he did do was hit a historic shot versus the Miami Heat, which is something that is one of the greatest highlight reels of all time. And what he did do was cruise through the 2009 playoffs, and they faced the Orlando Magic in the NBA Finals. Kobe and the Lakers won in 5 games against Dwight Howard-led Magic, and Kobe Bryant won the NBA Finals MVP, a great honor that was historically made by Bill Russell. Kobe and Pau Gasol, the new Bandits together, would cruise through the 2010 NBA playoffs, where they faced again the Boston Celtics. Kobe was hungry. Kobe wanted a championship. If he lost this one, the Boston Celtics would have a 2-1 advantage over him. But if he won this one, he would have a 2-1 advantage over them. Kobe and the Lakers gave it 7 games and they're all against the Celtics, which came down to a Game 7 showdown. They won by 4 points, 83-79, and that created one of the greatest videos in NBA history, where Kobe Bryant runs and gets the ball and is yelling because he just won a championship. It is such a historic video that millions of people just watch it for fun. Here it is. Kobe was so excited that night. Kobe Bryant's last few years of his NBA career were not that great. Kobe struggled with injuries, and the 2012 Lakers were not a very good team. This resulted in an Achilles injury from Kobe in 2012, but the Black Mamba was like, okay, I have an Achilles injury, I'm going to come back onto the floor. And he shot a free throw, and it swished in, which really just showed the Mamba mentality. Kobe, in the 2013-14 season, had another injury, and in 2014-15, he said, everything, it hurts, which was, talking about his body. In the 2015-16 season, Kobe announced this would be his last season ever to play in the NBA. Kobe was cheered on by millions and billions of fans out there because this was his last year in the NBA, and Kobe was widely known as the GOAT. But in April of 2016, Kobe Bryant lit it up for 60 points, an amazing way to cap off the career of a legend. But 3.5 years later, on January 26, 2020, Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash with his daughter and 7 others. It was one of the worst days in basketball's history. But Kobe Bryant's legacy lives on in all of us as the greatest basketball player to ever step foot on a court.